He's not human. In a small town in Norway called Brine, where winters are long and streets are silent, a boy was born who would change football forever. Erling Halland was not like the other kids. While most children dreamed of being famous, he dreamed of breaking records.
From 0 to 100.
Born on July 21, 2000 in Leeds, England, while his father Alf Inge Haaland was playing in the Premier League, Erling was practically born into football. His mother, Gry Marita, was a national heptathlon champion. Speed, strength, and competition were in his DNA. When the family returned to Norway, young Erling began to play for his local club, Bryn FK, at only 5 years old. Coaches already noticed his balance and coordination. They say he could sprint faster than most 10-year-olds. By the age of 15, he made his professional debut for Bryn in Norway's second division. He didn't score, but everyone could see what was coming. After 2 seasons, Molde FK, one of Norway's top clubs, signed him. There, under coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Halland learned how to become lethal in front of goal. In the 2018 season, he scored 12 goals in 25 games, an incredible number for a teenager. Solskjaer taught him how to time his runs and read defenders. He told him, "Don't just shoot, make the goalkeeper move first." In 2019, Red Bull Salzburg took a risk and signed him for €8 million. That move changed everything. In Austria, Halland exploded. In just half a season, he scored 29 goals in 27 games. And then came the night that made him famous, his Champions League debut. Salzburg versus Genk. Halland scored a hat-trick in the first half. Europe had found its new star. He didn't stop there. He scored against Liverpool, against Napoli, against everyone. In the group stage alone, he scored 8 goals in 6 games, something never done by a player his age. He became the first teenager in history to score in 5 consecutive Champions League matches. In January 2020, the big clubs came knocking. Barcelona, Juventus, Manchester United, they all wanted him. But it was Borussia Dortmund who moved fast. They paid his release clause, just €20 million, a price that now feels unreal. Halland's first game in Germany was unforgettable.
That substitution we've all been waiting for, the number Erling Halland, number 17.
He came off the bench against Augsburg and scored 3 goals in 23 minutes. That night, a new phenomenon was born. In his first 14 games for Dortmund, he scored 16 goals. By the time he left the club, he had 86 goals in 89 appearances. He averaged almost 1 goal per game in one of the toughest leagues in the world. His numbers were terrifying, but what made him truly special was how he scored. Left foot, right foot, headers, long runs, tap-ins, he could do it all. His top speed was clocked at 36 kilometers per hour, faster than many sprinters, and yet he stood at 194 meters tall, power and agility in one body. Then came the call that changed his life. 2022, Manchester City signed him for €60 million. Pep Guardiola wanted him as the final piece in his puzzle. The missing striker who could finish the endless chances City created. The world watched closely, and Halland didn't disappoint. In his first season in England, he destroyed every record imaginable. He scored 36 goals in the Premier League, breaking a record that had stood for nearly 30 years. He scored 52 goals in all competitions. He became the fastest player ever to reach 10 Premier League goals, doing it in just 6 matches. In the Champions League, he scored 5 goals in one single game against RB Leipzig, something only Lionel Messi had ever done. That same year, he won the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League, completing a historic treble with Manchester City. At just 22 years old, Halland had already reached the peak of European football. For Norway, he carries the hopes of a nation. Alongside Martin Ødegaard, he leads a new golden generation that dreams of qualifying for a World Cup, something Norway hasn't done since 1998. Even when the national team fails to qualify, Halland remains proud, saying, "My dream is to take Norway to the biggest stage." Outside the pitch, he lives like a machine. He follows a strict diet, sleeps early, avoids distractions, and trains with a level of focus that borders on obsession. His teammates say he studies defenders before every match, memorizing their weaknesses. He once admitted that his favorite sound is the ball hitting the net. And yet behind the calm expression and robotic precision, there's a player who loves the game deeply. He celebrates like a warrior but talks like a humble student. When asked about his success, he once said, "It's simple. I train, I sleep, I eat, and I repeat. Every day." At just 24 years old, he's already a Premier League champion, a Champions League winner, a European Golden Boot contender, and one of the highest goal scorers in Europe. But what's most impressive is that he still acts like he's just getting started. Because for Erling Halland, football isn't a career, it's a mission. From the snowy fields of Brine to the shining lights of Manchester, he has proven that greatness isn't about luck. It's about discipline, focus, and the hunger to become unstoppable. He's not just another striker, he's the future of the game, the prototype of a new generation. This was Erling Halland, the monster of goals. If you enjoyed this story, like, share, and subscribe, because we are watching history being made by a man who was never meant to be ordinary.